A stylish world to explore, a variety of creatures to capture, base building and personal upgrades to level through, and most importantly, Pokemon domination. Oh, I meant PAL domination with guns. When you capture these innocent creatures out in the wild, you're able to put them to endless work with no pay and feed them nothing but berries and just a cot to sleep on. Hot or cold, they will work and fight to the death. All for you. They're God. I looked at this game as a throwaway meme when it was first announced, but now I think it's a super addicting game. I just can't stop playing, but it definitely has some worries that come along with it. I just want to talk about some of the good and the bad it has to offer. It is a game preview after all. Before playing, I already didn't think I was going to enjoy this game for one simple reason. I dislike the survival genre in general. Oh, how I was wrong. Something about this game is different. Maybe it's the cartoony artwork, or it's the similarities to the concepts of Pokemon. I'm not sure. When you first load into the game, it's pretty bare bones survival gaming tropes. Collect resources, build a base, level up, and start crafting. Nothing too special here. But the thing that separates this game from the other survival games is obviously the pals themselves. You're able to capture mostly every pal you come across and either use them in your party while you're out adventuring to fight for you, or use certain pals to ride on as a mount to explore faster. You can even attack with pals while using them as a mount. But you can only have 5 pals in your party at once, so the ones you don't want, kick them to the curb and send them back to base and have them work for you there. This is a major reason I think I enjoy this game compared to other survival games. Instead of you managing all your resources that you need to craft or food that you need to make to survive, you can instead have a workforce do it for you while you're out enjoying your time doing whatever you want in this open world. Speaking of the open world, there's special chests to find, world bosses to fight, and different dungeons to dive into. Some dungeons will take you straight to a boss fight, and others you can explore some type of cave structure that will have unique pals that can be acquired. The thing I enjoy about these boss battles, both inside of the dungeons and in the open world, is they give you an objective to work towards in the open world itself. You're also able to capture most of the boss creatures present in the open world, and after a long fight, being able to capture a boss and use it as a minion, it just feels so good, especially if you enjoy the collecting part of the game. One of the main goals in Palworld is obviously to try collect every single pal. Currently, there's 113 in the pal deck itself, but with the variations of certain pals, that brings that number up to about 135. At least that's what I found out when doing the research for this video, because I certainly am nowhere near completing this pal deck myself. Overall, I enjoy the design of pals, even if they look pretty similar to another IP. While writing this script, I started to see some discourse about how this game is a blatant ripoff to Pokemon, but honestly, who the fuck cares? The game itself is fun, and from what it looks like, it's obviously filling a gap that fans of Pokemon have been wanting in the franchise. Another thing I enjoy about these pals are the small details or explanations that they give to these creatures in the pal deck. Some of them can even get a bit dark. Let's talk about the Killamari, for example. His description states, "It wraps itself around an enemy's head, sucking out their insides. Pal mummies are occasionally found, but these are in fact Killamari victims." God damn! This isn't exactly the Gluck Gluck 3000 you would want, if you catch my drift. One thing I'm worried about though is as the game progresses, I hope that they're able to keep putting unique pals into it so that it doesn't start to feel like you're capturing the same thing over and over again. Because for me, that'll get pretty old real quick. Something else I'm a bit worried about is the future of how the survival elements will work. I hope they're able to pull off some type of unique spin on the already established tropes of this genre. Like I said in the beginning, the only thing that was keeping me away from playing this game was it being a survival game. For me specifically, survival elements always become annoying after a while. So again, I do hope they can put some type of spin on it. But I'm already not a survival game fan, so maybe these elements are already done right. Let me know in the comments if you think that these survival elements they already have in here are good enough for the usual gameplay in this genre. Because I haven't played enough survival games to have a real opinion on this specific part. I just know what I personally dislike about this genre, but these tropes are things that people must obviously enjoy, so I could be wrong. Base building is pretty good for me so far as the first version of the game. Overall, I don't really go deep into the base building because I enjoy exploring and discovering more. But I would assume for people that do like to build bases, I can maybe see them wanting more decorations or materials to build a more stylized base that would fit their preferences and be able to have more individuality in their worlds. So I do hope they add more customization options in the future, which I already assume they will. The last thing I'm gonna tap on before closing up is the recent controversies coming up around the use of AI features and rip-off accusations. Who the fuck cares? All fans fans and gamers want are good games to enjoy in their off time. So in reality, nobody really cares how a game is made as long as the end product is good. Maybe Nintendo should get a hint and take some of these features and make a good Pokemon game. I'm not even tuned into the Pokemon community, but these numbers ain't lying. Wrapping up, I've been really enjoying Palworld so far. My expectations have been exceeded from what I did expect in the beginning. I hope that the developers are able to capitalize off this major success and continue to make fun and engaging updates in the future to keep me locked in. But if not, oh well, on to the next game.